Next young lady I'm going to call up to speak is Carla Lewis. And again, it's a young person I've gotten to know in the last year, working on a resurgence of our nation. In Burns Lake, we used to have a feast hall. It was down on the lower reserve there where the heliport was. 1960, they burnt it down. And this young lady's taken the task, along with a few of her colleagues, to start rebuilding the Wet'suwet'en Nation again in this territory. As Deanna said, all of us come from bloodlines that stretch from Hagelgut, Bear Lake, Fort St. James, everywhere. We're one nation here. And one of our dreams is to redevelop the community that was here prior to contact. And she's been working hard at it, so I'll call upon Carla.
Thank you all so much for coming out today. I'm really honored to be following these great speakers that have gone today, and they've talked about quite a few of the things that I was going to talk about. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit and talk a bit about peak oil and peak gas. It's something that not a lot of people talk about when we talk pipelines and tar sands and all of those different things, but the science is kind of out. People are still guessing on when we're going to hit peak oil, peak gas. But the estimates are anywhere from 20 years to 100 years, maybe even push it to 150. And then what? What are we going to live on? As I said, we need oil and gas to run our civilization as it is right now. We need it to run our vehicles. We need it to build things, to make things, for manufacturing, for the food industry, absolutely everything. So how are we going to exist after that? None of us will be here probably when peak oil hits, but our children and our grandchildren might be. We need to be fighting this fight for them. Our water is under attack. Our lands are under attack. Our air is under attack, and it can't handle any more. We're reaching the limit of what this world can provide for our people. And our tradition, our culture that our elders and hereditary chiefs have been sharing with you today has lasted and been living and supporting us for a millennia. Even by the archaeological evidence in this area, it's more than 15,000 years that our people have lived here, that this lake right there behind you has supported our existence, given us fish and food. All throughout the summer, I've brought different groups of youth down, and we've paddled down along into the channel. And I've explained to them that this is how we used to travel in the olden days, that this is what got us from place to place, and then portage across. We'd go up into the channel and look at the pristine side banks that exist in that channel. And they would look directly at it and see that you can't dig that up. Like, that has taken millions of years to become what that has built up in there. The soil, if you dig that up, their 200, whatever it is, trench that they're planning to dig through there, our channel is destroyed. Never mind if there's a spill. If there's a spill in here, all of us are gone. This is the end of Burns Lake. That lake right there is under attack and what we're defending right now. But again, kind of diverted from my peak oil speech, but we need to be fighting this fight, and as John had just mentioned about the local economy, we need to be starting to think about ways that we can exist, ways that we can go further without talking about oil and talking about gas. How are we going to survive here? How are we going to survive if there's a spill? How are we going to survive if there's peak oil? And we need to start planning that for our children. Start thinking about localized economies, how to grow our own food, support ourselves on this land. If we keep relying on the global economic structure to provide for us, the pipelines will keep coming. The tar sands will keep coming. And fracking will continue. We can't afford to lose any more water. We simply need our water, we need our land, we need our air to survive. And I'm encouraged by all of you that have come out today. I've been fighting this and first heard about Enbridge 8 years ago and have been writing articles and speaking out, and it has been years and years and years of nobody listening and people starting to come around and The threat is here right now, and it's still just the beginning. And so all of us have the responsibility to tell your children, tell your families, tell your neighbors why this is important, why we have to fight this, and why we have to come out and make our voices heard. As you heard earlier, our leaders are not listening. They could easily go and sign this ahead. What are we going to do when the JRP comes through and says, yes, we're going to approve this pipeline? We need to be out there in strong, strong numbers, in force, to be able to stop this. And the people united cannot be defeated, but a people separated can be. And so we need to get more people here. Please tell your families, tell your communities, continue the fight. And Burns Lake needs to be in the front lines of this resistance. It's coming right through our town. My little boy, he's 4 years old, and he probably knows a lot more about the pipelines and the resistance than a lot of people in Burns Lake. So again, get the word out there, get the information out, and continue supporting events like this. Awitsa.